Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Bonnie and I love all things sewing, crafting, anything in that area of quilting, putting together, painting things. So what we're going to do mostly on this channel is going to be a lot of small sewing projects. We just did a video for showing you how to thread your sewing machine, how to fill your bobbin, how to get it ready to sew. So now we're going to do some little projects, just simple projects that mostly only take just a straight stitch. And we're going to do some crafting projects, just fun things. It could be some painting, it could be some decoupage, it could be a little bit of anything. So I'm so happy that you've joined me. Today what we're going to do is a quick little pot holder that is a fun, easy project. It's very simple, mostly just needs straight stitch, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, I would appreciate it if you would like my channel, and if you would give me a thumbs up, and you would subscribe and hit that bell so that you'll know the next time that I upload a new video. Okay, let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome to my video today. We're going to do this fun pot holder project, and it's a lot of fun to make. It's really cute. You can find all kinds of different fabrics to make it with, and I hope you'll join me today while I go through all the steps of putting it together. So thank you so much. Okay, so to begin our pot holder, you need 3 9x9 squares, 9 inch by 9 inch squares of one fabric, 3 9x9 inch squares of your coordinating fabric, 1 9x9 square of your Insel Bright, which is your fabric insulator, which keeps, like in a pot holder, to keep the heat from your skin, and then a 9x9 square of batting. And you can use 2 of the Insel Bright, but it's a little thick, so I like to use a piece of batting so it just doesn't make it quite as thick, because once you get all these layers together, it's pretty thick, and then it has to sew through the sewing machine. So first step is we're going to put down one piece with the right side out. Then we put our Insel Bright on top of that. Then we put our batting on top of that. So we've got 3 layers now. And then we're going to put a coordinating piece on top of this. So you've got 4 layers. And now you're going to, depending on what you want to show on your outside over here, is what you're going to do next. So we want the coordinating piece back here, not the exact same piece. So we're going to put these 2 pieces down first, which is, we're going to triangle them, and it goes into the corner, and then your tips go into your corners. Same way with the other piece. You'll triangle it. It's going to go the opposite direction into the corner. Your pieces, and just make sure your pieces are pretty closely touching in these corners, because you don't want a gap when you flip it and when you sew it. So then, because these will come out on top and be, these will come out on top, these are going to go underneath, so they're your opposite piece. You're going to do just the opposite of how you laid these. You put them in the triangle, and it goes into this corner, into the triangle, just the opposite into this corner. And like I say, let these be very close together in your corners because you don't want a gap. You just want it to be butted up together really close. Okay, and then we're going to pin all around the edges. And one thing I like about this pot holder is once you get it all finished, you have a little pocket area that you can slip your hand inside and use to pick up your hot pans and different things that you're pulling out of the oven, or it gives you a little bit better grasp on things. So we're going to get it all pinned. Okay, so we're pinned and we're ready to go to the sewing machine. And this is how this side looks. This is how this side looks. But once we flip it, we're going to have these coordinating pieces that are going to show on top of this. So you're going to have a little bit of a contrast. So we are ready to go to the sewing machine. Okay, so now we're at the sewing machine. I chose a thread that's a little bit darker so that it would just show up. It coordinates pretty good with the two different fabrics, so that it'll give us a nice top stitch. Okay, so you're going to do about a 5/8 inch seam, which is pretty much a regular seam. And we are going to start sewing. So we're going to do a little back stitch right here just to lock in our stitch. And as we come up to these needles, we're just going to barely move over them, or pins. And then when you come into your corners, you want to come in to where you think you're almost at your 5/8 inch stitch or seam width on this side. Down your needle, turn your fabric, and then continue to sew this direction. When you're going over those pins, you have to be careful because it can definitely mess up your machine if you hit one. So go into your corner, down your needle, make your turn, and start again. That's why you want to be careful around the pins right there. One more corner. Needle down, make your turn, keep going. And one of the reasons that I am leaving the pins in, because we have such a thickness here that if you pull the pins out, sometimes it causes you to get these little pleats where the fabric tends to start crawling on you. So I'm just trying to keep it where that doesn't happen. We're running into our next corner. Needle down, do your turn, and you're on your last little area here. And then when you meet up with your stitch, you want to do another back stitch. That just locks your stitch in so that you don't have, that just locks your stitch in so that you don't have your threads coming undone. So you're going to lift your presser foot, pull it out. Now we're going to remove all of our pins from there. You want to trim your threads off. I am a tidy sewer. I don't like any loose threads or things hanging around, so I'm always trimming and pressing and trimming and pressing. I mean, I just think it makes for a much more crisp and neat looking item, whatever you're sewing on. So we're removing all the pins. And now we are going to trim these corners. So now here, you don't want to cut into your thread at all, but what you want to do is trim right straight across right before your thread. And what this does is when we turn it, it gives you just a little bit more crisp corner. You're not going to get a completely crisp corner with this because we have so many layers going on. It's a little bit harder to turn it and push it out and make that corner nice and neat. But on most things, if you trim that down and get a bunch of that bulk out of there, it will definitely make your corners so much better. Okay, so we've trimmed all of this down, and now we are going to turn it. Okay, so now we're going to turn it. So what I like to do is put my thumb way deep into the corner here, and then with my finger I push that through, especially when you're dealing with a lot of bulk like this. And you do that on all four corners. Okay. So now then, you turn it, and I know it looks like you've got all the same here, but you've got a little bit of coordination in here where that you see this on the inside. So you can do it all different ways. If you want to flip this and put this on the top, you can do different, like coordinate them back and forth and do that. But once we finish it, if you see how you can put your hand inside here and you can be able to pick things up. So it's really nice little pot holder. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go to the ironing board and press it really nice. And then we're going to do a nice little top stitch on it, which is really cute. You can just see your different colors in there. Okay, so we're going to press it down nice. You want to make sure all your seams are well rolled out because we're going to do a top stitch on this. And then just press it really good. Turn it over, press it from this side. And you'll be surprised the thickness that this has in it for a pot holder. And then like I say, you can put your hand inside and it gives you the option to kind of hold it like this. You've got the other opening here, which you can hold it like this. And you can coordinate back and forth. If you would rather have this fabric on the top, then you just do it the opposite way. If you want the fabric to coordinate and you see all the fabric here, you layer the pieces on top of each other. So it just depends on what your preference is. Everybody's different in the way that they want to do it. So I like it like this. Gives you a little bit of the other fabric here, but I think this is such a pretty fabric that's on this side of it. So now we're going to go to the sewing machine and we are going to top stitch it. Okay, so we're back at the sewing machine and we're going to do a top stitch just to give it a little bit of a decorative look around the edges. And we're just at like about 5/8 inch in. I just use my presser foot right up against the edge and I just go around it to keep the stitch even. So here you'll start kind of in the middle, just do a little bit of a back stitch just to lock that stitch in, and then just come forward. And then you come up almost to where you're at your area that your presser foot is going to come right off to the edge. Let me do one more stitch. Put your needle down and then start right back here again, and that gives you a nice crisp corner each time as to how your stitch is on the top layers. Same way with this corner, you come up to where you're almost to where your presser foot will be right in the right position, right on the edge. You make your turn, put your needle down, make your turn, and start again. One more stitch out. Your last corner, needle down, make your turn, come across, come right into where your stitch is at, meet right there, and do a couple of back stitches. That just locks your stitch in. Oh, I think my stitch broke on that corner. Okay, so we broke right there. Most machines too will have a little cutter right here because you end up not having your scissors where you want to have them all the time. So my thread broke, so we're going to go back and rethread it and finish off that last little corner. Okay, so we've rethreaded the sewing machine, and when that does happen and you're coming back on top of a top stitch, you want to make sure you get right back where you were exactly on that same stitch so it doesn't look sloppy. So we're going to do that stitch, put our needle down, make our turn, and move on right across here to finish it off and meet right into this area where we started. Do another little bit of a back stitch. And that has finished that off. Lift your presser foot, pull it out, trim off all your threads so you look nice and neat. All right. And there we go. And then we're going to come back to the ironing board and just do one last press to finish it off. I just love the pressing and the crispness of it and how nice and neat it looks. This is one of the easiest pot holders you will ever make, and it's quick, it's easy, and once you get the hang of it, this is a great thing that you can make for people for gifts. You can coordinate it with a hand glove pot holder, and we're going to make one of those soon and have a set that you can give as a gift. So let me move over here and show you the final product. Okay, and there you see the finished product. So it is got the top stitch, which gives it a little bit of dimension, and the thickness is really nice on these. They're very soft and thick. and you just want to get a cotton fabric. Works the best with this. If you just have scraps of cotton fabric, you can practice and make some. They're great for gifts. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would appreciate if you could give me a thumbs up and hit my subscribe button and give me a like on this video, and there'll be plenty more coming with it. And if you hit that little bell, it'll remind you each time that I upload something new. Thank you so much, and have a great day.